We're talking about the 7 rules for retirement security. It's been my experience that if you follow these 7 rules, it's going to give you the highest probability of having a successful and secure retirement. We talked about rule number 1, avoid large losses. We talked about rule number 2, make sure you transition from stage 1 to stage 2 portfolio. We talked about rule number 3, the need to significantly reduce volatility at this stage. Then rule number 4 was earn a reasonable rate of return. We talked about rule number 5 is manage your taxation, and now we're talking about rule number 6, make sure you understand your fees. Now when it comes to investments, you're never going to eliminate your fees, but you do want to understand how much you are truly paying in fees. In my experience, fees are a lot like risk. Most people truly underestimate how much they're paying in fees and how much risk is in their portfolio. Because what's the only thing worse than a stock market loss? It's overpaying in fees. At least with a stock market loss, we have the ability to potentially earn it back. But with high fees, once they go out the door, they're gone for good. Well, here's a question for you. How much are you really paying in asset management fees? If you have a financial advisor, you're probably going to say what most people say and tell us that you're paying about 1% in fees. That may be an average advisor fee, but most advisors, they don't manage the money. They contract out the investments to a money manager. That money manager could charge another 1%, and that money manager may be using underlying mutual funds for his investment vehicles. That could be another 1.23% in expense ratios. Then there's many hidden fees, fees that you won't see show up on your brokerage statement, but which you are absolutely still paying for. One of those is called trading costs. Anytime you have a portfolio, especially if it's actively managed, the portfolio manager is buying and selling securities throughout the year. Now I know what you're thinking, well wait a minute, that's not fair, Chris. They told me to hang in there and ride it out, meanwhile they're buying and selling securities within the portfolio. Well, every time they buy and sell in security, that goes to a trader on Wall Street. And do you think that that guy works for free? Of course not. So the portfolio turnover creates trading costs, and those trading costs can add another 1.44% in hidden fees. Then there's something called a cash drag. And this applies to mutual funds. If you own a mutual fund that does not trade freely, they keep cash on hand to meet redemptions. That cash is not earning a high rate of return. It creates a cash drag that could add another 0.83% in expenses. You think you're paying 1%, it could be as high as 5.5%. And if we look at some of the biggest brokerages out there, whether it's Ameriprise, UBS, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, or Merrill Lynch, they have been called out as some of the most expensive advice firms out on the street today. Their stated advisory and fund fees can be as high as 3.5%. And on average, what we see is when we tally up all these fees, they usually come into between 2.5% to 3.5% if you're using one of these big name brokerage. Now, a Quota Harris poll stated that 61% of Americans do not know their fees. I say that's absolutely false. In my experience, I have yet to meet someone that truly understands their fees. I think 100% of Americans don't know the level of fees that they're paying, just like they don't understand the level of risk that's in their investments today.